तो अब बिडिंग करो कैसे आया पिक्चर में आपके दिमाग में?
कम अप विद एन आइडिया कि अगर कोई ऐसा सिस्टम हो जो दैट हेल्प्स इन चेंजिंग दैट सोर्सिंग प्रोसेसेस टू एन ऑटोमाइजेशन, so might be it will be a big turnaround in the India itself. With that thought बिडिंग करो आया और ये हमें ऐसा लगता है कि जब ये बिडिंग करो आएगा लोग इसको अडेप्ट करेंगे, so it definitely change the organization.
We have been talking a lot about the current traditional procurement process. Do you think is the process transparent?
I don't think so entirely it's transparent. First of all, the promoters, maybe they are involved in the procurement process or they have a procurement team. Now, I'm not saying it's entirely true, but there is a chance that they can be biasing in the procurement. It could be. Through Bidding Karo, this is also one of the areas we want to cover. We want to keep it as transparent as possible. So even if the procurement team is procuring something, at least it's in the eyes of the owner. Right. All the negotiations, all the quotations, everything is visible to the owner.
Now, when is Bidding Karo finally launching then?
So we are planning to make it live in the month of April.
Hi everyone, this is Shoyer, the head of operations at Bidding Karo. Today I'll be hosting this podcast about Bidding Karo's problems and its challenges in the industry and how Bidding Karo solves these problems in the industry itself. So today I am here with the founders of Bidding Karo, Mr. Praveen Chaudhary and Ms. Afshan Ansari. And we'll be delving into more topics in this podcast. Mr. Praveen ji, tell us about your life. आप CA की आपकी कैसी लाइफस्टाइल रही?
Yeah, actually, Shoaib, it's very complex to answer my journey being as a CA, because actually, if I say my experience is totally different from my educational qualification. So normally, being a chartered accountant, I should be a taxation head or might be a statutory auditor of some big companies. But if I see today to myself, so I am a business mentor. So it's totally different from my educational qualification. So if I say as a business mentor, so I'm lucky to have experience in every domain of the businesses. So typically I divide up every business into 3 phases. So it's a implementation, execution, and growth strategy. Right. So I play a very important role in these 3 phases. So if I just take a little time to brief about the implementation. So normally promoter comes to us with an idea. Okay, this is the business idea and we need to do. So for having that business idea, so we need to see whether this business idea is viable or not, or it can be done or not. So both ends से हम एक business idea को we study and then we give them a go ahead or we reject that. Right. So once we give them a go ahead, then we made a framework for an execution of that. So after that framework, we'll go for an implementation. So this comes to an end of the implementation phase. So for having a business to be successful, then execution plays a very important part. So for an execution, हमारे को जो भी legal compliances होता है for having a systems in the organization और उसका जो भी स्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट होता है, हम पूरा उसको स्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट में भी हम लोग प्रोमोटर्स के साथ हैंड होल्डिंग करते हैं, सो दैट एग्जीक्यूशन शुड बी इन राइट डायरेक्शन. राइट. सो एज यू आर अवेयर इन मार्केट, आज की डेट में मार्केट क्वाइट चैलेंजिंग और काफी डायनेमिक है, एंड देन एवरी बिजनेस ओनर शुड बी अवेयर ऑफ दिस चैलेंजेस और जो चेंजेस आ रहे हैं उनको पता होना चाहिए. सो ओनली आफ्टर दैट, जब हम चेंजेस आते हैं उसको हम समझते हैं और अपने बिजनेस में चेंजेस करते हैं, ओनली देन आवर बिजनेस कैन बी ऑन अ ग्रोथ स्ट्रेटेजी. सो हम वो भी उनको समझाते हैं कि क्या चेंजेस आ रहे हैं, हाउ वी कैन एडॉप्ट देम और कैसे हम अपनी ग्रोथ स्ट्रेटेजी को आगे लेके जा सकते हैं. सो दिस इज माई जर्नी. सो इट्स टोटली डिफरेंट फ्रॉम माई दैट CA क्वालिफिकेशंस, बट इट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू से कि ये सब जो मैं आज बिजनेस मेंटर कह सकता हूँ अपने आप को, या बिजनेस ओनर भी कह सकता हूँ इन सम एस्पेक्ट्स, ये बेसिकली क्या है, एक चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंसी है, ये माइंड्स को ओपन करती है. सो मैं ये नहीं कह सकता कि चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंसी ने नहीं हेल्प नहीं किया. बेसिकली इट ओपन्स अ माइंड टू थिंक, चीजें प्रोसेस को अंडरस्टैंड करना है. सो डेफिनेटली CA हेल्प्स अ लॉट.
ओके, दैट्स ग्रेट. आपकी जर्नी इज क्वाइट थॉटफुल. या सो अब बिडिंग करो कैसे आया पिक्चर में आपके दिमाग में?
Yeah, as I briefed you, कि I am working as a business mentor. So around 5 to 6 years back, so I thought to start my own venture. So I developed a venture typically उसका we named as mentoring cum partnership program.
Okay.
So we thought कि there are a number of business entrepreneurs जो काफी highly professionals को नहीं hire कर सकते because of their high pay scales and a lots of things. So we met them और हमने उनको अपना प्रोग्राम का we introduced them about our program. So we entered with them to mentor them about their business. So हम लोगों ने वहाँ पे business को we started mentoring them about, we studied their current business, उनके क्या challenges हैं, we help them in making a systems in their organization. So during that overall processes, when we understand their complete process, we felt that sourcing department is the only department जिसमें we always tried hard to make a systems, to make some kind of automation, but it's a manual driven department जिसमें normally every times we ask for a quotations, फिर we need to negotiate with them, और वो कहीं ना कहीं मैनुअल ड्रिवन रहता है और एक पर्सनल बेस्ड डिसीजन मेकिंग डिपार्टमेंट रहता है. और सोर्सिंग प्लेज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट बिकॉज इफ वी से सोर्सिंग इज अबाउट 70% ऑफ द कंपनीज रेवेन्यू रहता है. सो अगर हम उस सोर्सिंग के ऊपर वी फोकस एंड वी मेक सम काइंड ऑफ सिस्टम्स, सो वी कैन इम्प्रूव दैट मार्जिन ऑफ द कंपनी टू 5 to 7%. सो considering these scenarios, so I come up with an idea कि अगर कोई ऐसा system हो जो that helps in changing that sourcing processes to an automation, so might be it will be a big turnaround in the India itself. Right. With that thought, Bidding Karo आया. और ये हमें ऐसा लगता है कि जब ये बिडिंग करो आएगा लोग इसको अडेप्ट करेंगे, सो इट डेफिनेटली चेंज द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन.
राइट, दैट्स अमेजिंग टू हियर प्रवीण जी आपके आइडिया के बारे में और बिडिंग करो के बारे में. सो मूविंग टुवर्ड्स आशा जी, आप बताएं अपने बारे में. सो हाउ इज योर जर्नी बीन हियर टुवर्ड्स बिडिंग करो?
So my education has been in engineering, but then I joined my father's business. And we've been into carpet business for generations now.
Right.
So all the processes, carpet industry, we make handmade rugs. So it is very manual driven, and there are less systems in this industry as of now.
Right.
Being the 5th generation, and 3 years down the line, I feel I should add something, of my own in this industry. I've been given a nice platform, and I'm very lucky to have that. But now it's time that I add my essence into it also. And our generation, we prefer more systemized process rather than man-driven processes. So that is the direction that we are going at as of now.
That's amazing to hear. So how did you and Praveen ji meet? And how did you and Praveen ji discuss Bidding Karo?
So just like you mentioned, Praveen ji has been advising us and mentoring us in the management area. Like I said, I'm still new in this. It's been 3 years.
Yes.
And, we are systemizing our firm processes as much as we can. Right. And as he mentioned, procurement is a major part of it. And, systemizing it would lead to greater profits in return. So that's how Bidding Karo came into picture.
So Afshaji, for those who not be familiar, tell our audience how the procurement department really is and what kind of challenges do you really face.
So suppose you have already a listed set of vendors.
Right.
You call each one of them, you set your requirement, you see if the availability is there. And then you see the market trend going on, then you negotiate with each of them separately. And then finally you set, a price with one particular vendor, and then you go ahead with the entire thing. So this whole, the entire process of exchanging and negotiating.
Very manual.
It's very manual. Plus, when you have a relationship with these vendors, negotiating is not entirely number-based or logical.
Right.
At times, emotion and human nature also comes into picture. So yes, that's how normal procurement process in India is working.
That's very nice. How procurement has evolved significantly, and from your perspective, what major changes have and key drivers behind this transformation?
So I didn't agree with your question, Shaurya. Basically, if you say कि sourcing department has been changed, so it's only a mindset कि we are changing industry. जो entrepreneurs हैं has changed their procurement department to some systems. Basically, it's an mindset. उन्होंने एक mind बना रहा है कि हमने change किया, but at present they didn't change it too much.
Right.
अभी still sourcing is department is going on manually. So as Afsha ji briefed, कि still the promoters expect from a sourcing team to get 3 quotations from the vendors for every product. And after that, they also expect from the sourcing team कि they negotiate with each of the vendors. So normally there is nobody to check whether 3 quotations are asked actually or not, or whether it has been negotiated. अब negotiated means क्या होता है? In our India, normally we got 3 quotations for X, X minus 1, X minus 2, and normally we give that price X minus 2, order to that X minus 2 as a vendor, as considering that as L1. So if we say exactly about negotiation, it means it should be negotiated between vendors. It's not about we got the quotations and we given to a L1. So there is, still we have not done negotiations.
Right.
So for negotiation, we have to give an opportunity to a vendor who has given us an X price, that we got that X minus 2, you give your best price.
Right.
Then we also need to give a opportunity to X minus 1 vendor. So after that, we get a negotiated price. So this is only a presumption ki we have made our systems. It's all manual systems going in our industry. Although some big enterprises have made some systems, we can't say ki all, but maximum industries in India are working on the same systems. So if we are going to implement Bidding Karo in their company, and ये जितना manual process है to have quotations, so in Bidding Karo they can have these online quotations. They can find new vendors also in this Bidding Karo platform.
Okay.
And further, that systems helps in negotiating between the vendors. So at last, might be you end with that X minus 5. So frankly, if we say your procurement cost might come to 5 to 7%, कम हो सकती है, to reduce to 5 to 6%. So this is Bidding Karo.
Right. So Afsha ji, so what do you think, like what is the traditional vendor pool and what kind of challenges there are, or what kind of problems do the vendor pool currently face?
So if I say take myself into picture, if I'm creating a vendor pool of suppliers, then they are quite restricted with their geographical location. I would want somebody nearer so that the transportation costs are saved. Again, it's also industry knowledge driven. I mean, if I say carpet, for example, Bhadoi, Jaipur, Mirzapur, these are the places where it's, carpet centric places.
Major areas.
But if he's going south as well, over there also a lot of jacquard made products, carpet products are being made, but they are less known. If a person has to look for carpets, what will they do? They'll go to these more concentrated areas and less over there. So yes, we are restricted geographically, through popularity, even through personal connections. Now for me, when I joined, my father already had his set of pools. So
so that was the foundation.
That was the foundation, and I connected to those people only. Adding a new one, yes, it does happen if somebody approaches, but again, it's a longer process.
It's a challenge
of verifying the sample and, seeing whether they are trusted and whether, the procurement is on time. That will happen in other situations also. But still, I wouldn't prefer going very much outside my geographical comfort.
Yeah, of course.
So I need to add a little thing.
Sure.
Even if Afsha ji is willing to go to some other area to have new vendors, so definitely it's going to be very typical to have vendor verification, because for adding any new vendor, we need to verify the vendors whether that vendor will supply on time or not.
Of course.
What about the quality? So on Bidding Karo, we provide to some intact a verified vendors pool also. That gives a history of the vendors, what were their locations, how they performed on Bidding Karo and everything. So might be this Bidding Karo helps also to the buyers to get some kind of verified vendors through Bidding Karo.
That's amazing. So Praveen sir, what do you think? How is Bidding Karo different from the current platform that are currently available in the market? or any other online platforms?
So, if we say about these online platforms, so basically the current platforms we available in the market is normally B2C. So, first of all, R is not B2C, it's B2B. First of all, and the most important thing, we are not selling any kind of products on our platform. It's basically a platform for shift of the sourcing from that traditional sourcing to a automation
Automatic.
processes. So we are providing only a platform that helps the entrepreneurs to shift their manual driven sourcing to our platform. तो नॉर्मली अगर जैसे हमने अभी इनिशियली वी ब्रीफ यू कि सोर्सिंग अभी नॉर्मली आर मैनुअल बेसिस दे आस्क फॉर अ कोटेशंस दे केप देयर कोटेशंस दे मैनुअली नेगोशिएट दिस so or our platform normally there are vendors available on our platform. So once this buyer puts their requirement on our platform, they came to know the available vendors for their products. Okay, they can choose the vendors as per their requirement. They can study their credibility also of the vendors on our platform, ki how reliable and how they are experienced on this Bidding Karo platform. After then, they can select the vendors on our platform. Then they can ask the vendors for on a specific date to come on that specific date on Bidding Karo and give their best price. So when they give the best price, there is an option to have a negotiation between the vendors. So at last, after the closure of that bidding, the buyer will get a best squeezed price for their products.
Right. That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So we can't compare Bidding Karo with any of the other platform. As per me, it's a kind of a unique platform in the market.
Right. So, Afsarji, we have been talking a lot about the current traditional procurement process. Do you think is the process transparent?
I don't think so entirely it's transparent. First of all, the promoters, maybe they are involved in the procurement process or they have a procurement team. Now, I'm not saying it's entirely true, but there is a chance that they can be biasing in the procurement. It could be. But as a promoter, you want to close all the loopholes. You don't want to give an opportunity where some, leakage can happen.
Right.
So through Bidding Karo, this is also one of the areas we want to cover. We want to keep it as transparent as possible. So even if the procurement team is procuring something, at least it's in the eyes of the owner.
Right.
All the negotiations, all the quotations, everything is visible to the owner. Apart from that, many times procurement also happens through a middleman, and then we have to give commission to that middleman. So, these things, the commission or maybe, like I said, some biasing could be ignored.
So that all gets cut down by Bidding Karo.
Yeah, and it becomes a more transparent process.
That's nice. Anything else from?
Now, just as Ashaji briefed, that promoters were also involved in sourcing. So when we met with number of organizations, so we discussed with promoters. So they always say that almost 60-70% of their time is to verify the purchases. Right. So whether that purchases are at the correct price or not, or to verify the prices. So once they adapt this Bidding Karo, so definitely they will save their time from the sourcing department and can have this time to some their growth strategy.
Right. So moving on. So after many suppliers find it very difficult for it to navigate in the procurement industry. So how do you think you can make it easy for them to navigate with Bidding Karo?
So specifically taking online platforms for the procurement industry, if I have to post a requirement for a product, then I'll have a plethora of buyers. First, I have to scan through them, and then see the availability, whether they can provide us or not. And then I have to, again, like I mentioned before, call them individually, negotiate with them individually. It's just time-taking process. Whether they reply back or not, that's another issue that happens. And it's not very engaging. And in the end, it becomes a headache. Through Bidding Karo, over the time, through how much they participate in this procurement process, you can very well judge how the supplier is going to be. And the I guess one of the biggest advantages is that it's not just a buyer approaching the vendors.
Right.
Even a vendor can approach a buyer. Listen, I have this product, I can supply it to you. You can verify my supply, and then very well, if you want, I can join the bidding process as well.
Right.
So that's how you're even increasing your vendors pool.
That's,
So these things are being added through a Bidding Karo platform.
that's nice. So Praveen sir, how do you think you can make the portal or more user friendly? What can you add, or what changes you have made in Bidding Karo specifically to make it more user friendly?
So, as we discussed during this whole discussion, कि all sourcing department mainly are working on a manual processes. So we are aware of the all process, ki what might be the challenges to our platform. So we are working on this platform from around last 2 years, and we have a very big team of professionals to understand the challenges. And we have a chartered accountants team, we have some IT based team, and we have legal team also to understand the complete challenges which we might face during this execution of this implementing this Bidding Karo to industry.
Right.
So we are considering this, and we are exactly making a very user friendly in the sense ki the efforts they are putting currently in their traditional process might be they will put a less efforts on Bidding Karo, and they will feel more comfortable from their existing process.
Right.
So we are putting, considering your caution, we are putting our best efforts so that it will be implemented in a very smoother process. Further, we have a team to have training to the promoters also, to their sourcing team also, even to their vendors also, because we know to implement this Bidding Karo types of platform in any of the company. So first of all, we need to make the promoters understandable about this platform. So once this platform, that promoters understand this platform about the uses of this and the benefits they will get. So once they agree for this, then we have to go to their team.
Right.
And to make them trained, to make them understand, and to make them adapt. Because हमने समझा दिया, उन्होंने adapt नहीं किया, even then there is no use. So we are focusing on this. Then if we go to one company, so definitely they have 300-400 vendors with them. So we are also prepared to give training to that vendors also. So we are totally prepared for this. So I think we don't face such kind of challenge, or if they accept, they after 2-3 months, definitely it will be a very smooth process for them.
That's nice. Looks like you are fully prepared.
Yeah, we are fully prepared.
So what kind of industries or businesses is Bidding Karo targeting or moving forward with?
Okay, if we say about Bidding Karo, we are not restricted for any specific industry because it's a platform. Any industry can use this platform. So it's not for any specific industry, but with the beginning, definitely we'll go for some 2-3 specific industry so that we can have a smoother implementation. Because if we go for all industries parallelly, so it might be a challenging for us also. So we'll go in a phases manner, but we are targeting in a next span of 3 to 4 years, we'll cover all industry and pan India. And we can say it will change India.
Wow, that's amazing. So Praveen ji, how does AI influence Bidding Karo? What have you put into technology that is changing Bidding Karo now?
देखिए, AI is a kind of word. I think हम लोग since morning till evening we heard about AI.
Right.
AI is basically captured our life. So even if we have to send a message, we use AI to draft that message. So AI is a part of our life. We can't avoid that AI part. So AI is nothing that helps us to be doing things easier way. So Bidding Karo, we can say like an AI, but it's basically a system driven process. So we have put all systems in the Bidding Karo, some kind of automation like Afsha ji briefed. If we put a requirement of some of the products on our Bidding Karo, then the pan India suppliers will come to know about the requirement from a buyer, and they can approach from through Bidding Karo to that buyer about कि they are the suppliers of this product and they are interested in participate in the bidding. So ये एक हमने we can say like we have facilitated something like AI कि there is a communication, two-way communication between the buyer and a supplier, and then buyer can verify these suppliers through our systems and they can accept their request to participate. Then it's a negotiation, system driven negotiation on our bidding portal. There is no requirement for the buyer to be present in the bidding portal. So it's between the vendors. The vendors will negotiate, participate in the bid, and the best price that buyer will come to know if this is the L1 price for their products. So this is completely, we can say, the system driven. There is no manual based, nothing promoters decision. Nothing that team decisions to give this product to some specific vendors. So all is system based.
Right. Anything you would like to add on the technology aspect?
What I would like to add is over the years, we'll be collecting a lot of data.
Right.
And yes, the future of it would be that apart from making it completely automized and systemized, we can even through the data, tell them the market price that is currently facing and, that is currently going on. And if they are quoting a higher price, maybe prompt them. But again, that is a future thing to see.
Of course. So, Afshaji, how do you think you will handle people who are not tech savvy? Like a lot of managers are still used to the traditional procurement process and are using books and manual entries. How can they come on board with Bidding Karo?
Currently in India, I don't think so. There's a single person who isn't using Paytm or Google Pay. We are moving towards digitalization. So while designing the software, while making this software, this is one point that we kept in our mind constantly, that it has to be by click of a button. We cannot make it complex. We cannot make it, with mumbo jumbo, big names or something like that. It has to be something that connects to people at a very basic level. Right. So that anyone who just opens the app, it's very easy to navigate, it's prompting, and, there's no hassle then. Whereas technology is involved, I guess everyone is using smartphones and everyone is using applications, everyone is ordering stuff online. So it's not that people will only cater to using registers. They will definitely love using a computer. It all comes down to how simple the process is, how understandable it is. Right. And that is something that has been the core important point while designing the software. It has to be as simple as possible and as understandable as possible.
Of course, that's nice. So Praveenji, traditional procurement is always based on a trust. It's always based on faith, how people have in it. So how does Bidding Karo ensure transparency and credibility for buyers and suppliers?
So I think you have used a very right word कि traditional procurement were on a faith basis. So हम लोग वो faith word जो है, because for any industry we can't move on only on faith. So basically the right word is credibility. Right. So this credibility and transparency. So that both the points is covered by our Bidding Karo platform. Our Bidding Karo platform is totally transparent. So we can see the number of quotations we received for our product requirement, and even we can see the whole process of negotiation also, and the vendor who has given the L1, L2, L3 prices. So this is a complete transparent process. Even with regards to credibility, there is a complete process for giving the ratings to the vendors and buyers for on the basis of their dealings with regards to bid, regarding their delivery terms. So that our portal will also show about the ratings of the buyers and vendors. So we covered both the points of trust and credibility, transparency.
That's amazing. Yeah. So Afshaji, here's a question for you. So how does the platform tackle the issue of unreliable and fake buyers?
So like Praveenji already mentioned, we have a rating system. More than that, we also see each industry, how much they are spending, how much they are saving. So if a person is winning bids and is supplying the material, we can also see what is the volume of supply each industry is giving. So through that, we can verify the buyers, and through ratings, we can see whether they are genuine or not, whether they are promising on their terms or not.
Okay.
So that's how we are verifying things.
That's amazing. So we have talked a lot about the industry and how Bidding Karo is going to have a positive impact on the industry itself in the procurement process. So what exactly is the benefit for the buyers, if you want to explain?
As a buyer, first of all, things will be transparent to you. You will see exactly how the price is going down or if it's not going down. And even if the procurement team is involved, the buyer can very well take out a bit of their time instead of a week or so in the negotiation and just see the entire process in just 5-10 minutes. Not even that, I would say 10 seconds. It will be very seamless. Right. And even apart from that, it will be a very rigorous negotiation. It would not be just one-to-one. Right. It would be many people negotiating at the same time. So definitely the rigorous negotiation would lead to reduced costs, and therefore it would increase the profits of the buyer, and these profits would impact 70% of the cost price. Okay. So in the end, it would result in a big revenue for the company. Right. Secondly, yeah, you're saving time. And I think as a business owner, time is very valuable. You can very well use that time in, other matters, growing the business and, planning new strategies. So like that, I guess for buyers, it is very beneficial. More than that, I guess you can even add new vendors to your pool. Right. New vendors who are not introduced before can even, once they are added, would increase the negotiation as well, because new parties are adding, they will have their new take on the product. Boundary. Yeah. Nice. So you're not restricted geographically also. Right.
So we can say like this about the time saving, transparency and reduction of cost and growth. Right. Because is Bidding Karo se basically is 4 aspects is completely covered through Bidding Karo. So we can definitely be a partner for every company in their growth.
Well, that's amazing. So apart from the buyers, what about the suppliers? How are they benefiting from Bidding Karo?
Yeah, in India, normally the buyers and vendors are basically works on a geographical basis. Their business restricted to their geographical locations. So through our platform, that vendors anywhere in India will be able to know about the requirement anywhere. For example, if someone is in Delhi, buyer, and he asks for some material, then even the supplier on a south side, might be we can say in Chennai. So that vendor will be able to know that someone has requirement in Delhi for this product and they ask for a best price. So that Chennai vendor can approach to Delhi vendor that I am interested. I have the supplier of this product you asked, and I am very much keen to participate in this bid. So through Bidding Karo, it's not, we are focusing on that negotiation, transparency, everything. But we can say it also helps in the growth of the business of both the parties. Right. So vendor definitely will get a more business through this Bidding Karo platform. Likewise, that buyer can also play off vendor for some other buyer.
Of course.
So it's a win-win situation for both the parties.
That's amazing. So finally, it just brings us back to everything that we have heard. Now, when is Bidding Karo finally launching then?
So we are planning to make it live in the month of April.
Okay.
So we have covered everything. We are in a testing phase. We are testing each and everything. So we are planning to launch in the month of April.
That's amazing. So Afshaji, what do you think are the financial costs or like any costs associated with using Bidding Karo for the buyers and suppliers?
Now, surprisingly, Bidding Karo is free for registration. So anyone can participate in a bid free of cost. Right. There's just a minimal cost which would not hurt the buyer's pocket for creating the bids. So we are charging bid basis, and again, the price related to each bid is very minimal. Right. That would be a surprise when the
That's amazing.
app is launched.
That's amazing. So what do you guys think? Digital platform like Bidding Karo will be accepted by industrialists?
Yes, definitely. And primarily I thanks Modi ji also, जिन्होंने पूरे इंडिया में डेफिनेटली यूपीआई लाइक प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैज बीन इम्प्लीमेंटेड इन इंडिया एंड वी आर on daily needs we are using many e-commerce platforms. We are getting groceries at our doorsteps. So Bidding Karo is definitely, it's not too difficult to accept. I think if we compare to such kind of platforms, so Bidding Karo might be too easier and beneficial for everyone to accept.
Right. What do you think?
I think yes, in the beginning there would be some resistance, but then like Praveenji specifically said that we are moving towards digitalization. Everyone is using phones, and most of the things are done using phones. So if even procurement can happen using a phone, why not?
Right. Of
The
course.
question again comes down to why not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's amazing.